Bizignani there from IATA. Wei Sim, transport and infrastructure analyst at Macquarie, joins us here in Hong Kong, along with of course, our friend Dr. Andy Chia, independent economist. Wei, welcome to the program. You know, it's been very, very interesting times for the airlines. I had a round of drinks with the CX people the other day. They just placed an $8 billion order for the A350s. They bought some new Boeings worth a couple more $1 billion. It would seem like it's a very unstoppable industry right now, and yet some people, like the IATA people, are warning that new capacity could actually start to have a negative effect. What's your view?
Well, I think that for the airlines at the moment, there is two things which are driving the growth. For the short-haul travel, what we are seeing is rising income levels in China, in Asia, which is driving the propensity for travel, which is being further boosted by the low-cost carriers. On the long-haul side, what we are also seeing is a change in the mix for the airlines overall. We're seeing them moving to a model where they're using smaller capacity aircraft with higher frequency coming through. Yeah. And for this, what this also means is that they're flying either high frequency from hub to hub or flying from hubs to secondary airports. Right. Now, the first trend which we're talking about is more specific or unique to Asia. The second one is a global trend. Overall, though, we do think that the growth outlook for the Asian airlines is stronger than global ones.
Doctor, what's your view on where the airline industry is? I mean, the fares are back, the planes are packed. A business class or first class ticket costs more than it ever has. I mean, the differential between sitting in the back and the front is like, 7 to 10 times differential now. You know, it must be a nice time to be an airline. What do you think?
Yeah, I think it's the business is good. I think, however, airline industry is never a good idea for investors. It's a capital-intensive industry. When the business is good, like now, they buy a lot of planes. Then when the cycle goes down, they're stuck with a high cost. That's why the airline stocks never make a lot of money for investors.
And fuel prices can really nail you very, very quickly.
And also, there's a huge dark cloud over the horizon. China's high-speed rail system. It's a beginning, but it will be completed soon. And most lucrative routes in China will be cut, and because the people will not be flying anymore. So I think, in my view, it's in the long run, it's a bad industry.
Very interesting dynamic that Andy has brought up here. You know, the high-speed rail build-out in China is going to make people think twice about wasting time milling around, going through, security checks, waiting to board a plane, and then all the delays in China because of the antiquated, air traffic control systems. Easier to get on a bullet train and go from point A to point B. And we talk about like Air Asia X flying, low-cost one-class travel from Kuala Lumpur to Tokyo. I mean, is it going to become a homogeneous market in Asia? Is it going to become a get there as soon as you can at the lowest cost possible kind of a market paradigm?
No, I think there's two dynamics. There's two markets which you really have to satisfy when we're looking at travel. There is the premium market as well as the economy market, and I think that both of them can survive. On a broader term basis, over the 5 to 10 years, what we're looking at is Asia historically has been relatively closed market, and what we're seeing right now is that there's a gradual liberalization of the airspace coming through in Asia. Firstly, with the Open Skies Agreement, the ASEAN Open Skies Agreement, which is coming through by 2015, and we see this extending to North Asia in 2020. Now, I agree with Andy that over the 2 to 4 year period, we are going to see a lot of diversion coming through for China's airlines from high-speed rail. So on a 2 to 4 year basis, I think that there could be some overhang there. But if we take a longer-term view, a 5 to 10 year view, then I think that there's definitely growth in demand for both and areas for survival for both the airlines as well as high-speed rail.
You mentioned that point-to-point travel is more of an Asian phenomenon, whereas perhaps a hub-to-point travel, on like the 380s and the big craft is more of an international thing. As what you say happens, we see gradual liberalization and easier to get from place to place within the Pacific Rim. Who are the winners then? I mean, if you look down the line 10, 15 years, taking a really long view, do you bank on the fortunes of a company like Comac or somebody like that, a Bombardier, and Embraer? We're talking about the 100 to 130 seaters that you can fill up quickly, load quickly, and get them off the plane quickly.
Well, I think if we look at more regional travel, then the regional jets will get a good market share. But what we are also seeing is more point-to-point travel coming through for longer distance routes too, which has led to the development of aircraft such as the A380 as well as the 787. So I think even though we're seeing more interregional point-to-point, on a long-haul basis, we're going to see more of that coming through.
Yeah, I wish we were all like Andy Share here. He doesn't have to deal with what we have to do. He just takes his own private jet everywhere. Anyway, Wei Sim Macquarie, thank you very much. And Andy and Sean, Andy will be back our way in a second along with Sean Ryan as well. One of the top department store operators.